Good morning. Namaste to all of you. Let's start our Sunday class. Prayers recited by Karuna.
ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवत् गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णो वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटन् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधना बोधितम् लोके सज्जनषट्पदैर्हरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलः प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुल्लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैर्वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। I'll start shlokas now. ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि युक्तैव मात्मानं मत्परायणः सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम. Thank you, Hersh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karuna. She just recited 5 verses from Bhagavad Gita. And we are going to see what do we learn from these 5 verses when we lose hope in life. Losing hope means to be without hope. Or another verb we often use, despair. That is a state in which all hope is lost or absent. What do we do? Someone who has become hopeless may not value things that were once important. The emotion is often associated with the lack of inspiration, as well as feelings of powerlessness, helplessness, abandonment, captivity, or even isolation. Is hope a feeling or emotion? While hope certainly involves our emotions, but hope itself is not an emotion. Hope is a way of thinking or a state of being. That means when we feel hopeless, hope can be taught. And hope is also distinct from faith. Your hopelessness can arise from your inefficiencies and inabilities to accomplish your goals or achieve something that you have wanted to achieve. These difficulties or adversities in life, they have a very vicious force. They can cause us to fall apart. But they are necessary elements of individual growth to reveal our true potential. We got to learn how to endure them. We got to learn how to overcome them and move forward. So that's why common saying that never lose hope. And storms make people stronger, and the storms never last forever. They say there are 4 pillars of hope: healthy living, financial security, educational success, and strong families. But there's a fifth one also, connection with God. Because anything else can dwindle away, can be taken away, but our connection with God can never be taken away. Someone who never loses hope can be described as resilient, steadfast, optimistic. They have the unwavering belief in the possibility of positive outcomes, even in the face of adversity. They always see the challenges as temporary obstacles rather than the insurmountable barriers. And we can do all that if we have a firm faith in God. Sure, we got to take care of ourselves. Got to learn how to be a good citizen. We got to remind ourselves of our accomplishments. But we got to make sure that we have a firm faith in God. So turn to faith and spirituality. And another good way to get back on track when you are losing hope is to connect with the like-minded people. People who have experienced this. They have gone through the similar situations, but they have come out of it. That's why belonging to a certain church or temple or a group really helps. Talking about the religion, Bible says, do not be afraid. Do not lose hope. I am the Lord, your God. I will be with you everywhere you go. And the same message we get in Bhagavad Gita. Because in Sanatana Dharma, we believe that God comes again and again. Sometimes in the form of Buddha, sometimes in the form of Jesus Christ, sometimes in the form of Ram and Krishna, or even a form of a guru. So Lord Krishna said, the very first verse you heard from Karuna, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tan tatha eva bhajami aham mam vartam anuvartante manushya parth sarvasha. He says, in whatever way you approach me, I will reward you. So we have to approach. That first move has to be from us. He is with us always. As it said in Bible, he is always there for us. But we have to approach him too. Normally, we just depend upon the other instruments, the other areas more. We forget to surrender to him. Those people who turn their mind 100% towards him, they look upon God as their goal, as their refuge. He says, I take care of you. Just like a mother takes care of the child. This is what he's promising us in this verse. Then in the 9th chapter, the chapter which is full of bhakti, how to cultivate love with God, how to go to him, how to feel his presence, how to surrender to him. All of that is beautifully explained in that 9th chapter, Raj Vidya, Rajguh Yoga. Ananyaha chintayanta mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nitya abhiyukta nam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Over here, the key word is vahami. He says, I bring it, I carry it. It's not just I give, I myself bring it. I personally carry the burden of maintaining my devotees. So he is promising two things over here, yoga and kshem. But the condition is that we have to exclusively surrender to him. When we partially surrender to him and partially depend upon material crutches, God also partially bestows his grace. And when we act from our independent will, thinking that we are the doers of our actions, we depend upon our own powers and abilities, we do not feel his grace. He is noting our karmas. He will give us the result, no doubt. But if we surrender, he says, I take full responsibility. So when we lose hope, we got to remember God is with us, taking care of us. We have to develop that connection with him. Ananya. So this verse starts with Ananya. Ananya means without others. Only God. Only God. Ananya. Then in the same chapter, towards the end of this chapter, he's telling us how to develop this kind of a connection with me. How to surrender to me completely. Man mana bhav mad bhakta. Madhyaji mam namaskaru. Mam eveshyasi yuktavaha evam atmanam mat parayana. He has stressed the devotion and bhakti throughout this chapter. So in this chapter, he concludes it by asking us to unite our mind with him completely. Man mana bhav mad bhakta. Fix your mind on me. Be devoted to me. Be my lover. Sacrifice unto me. Bow down to me. When you unite yourself this completely with me, taking me as your supreme goal, of course, I'll come to you. I'll come to you. And there are several examples in the religious books of this kind. Got to learn how to surrender completely to God. Then we'll be hopeful. That losing hope or being in a state of desperation, there's no question about it. Got to learn how to fill our mind with God and God alone. So constant awareness, which should be maintained diligently, that is the secret here. You will never see a bhagat of this caliber sad. Because hopeless person, you can see it on their faces. Bhagat is always hopeful. Because we are what we are because of our thoughts. So if our thoughts are filled with God, you see that divine effulgence on the face of a devotee. Then after that, we're going to look at two verses from the end of Bhagavad Gita, the last chapter, where Lord Krishna is telling us again how to surrender completely. But then in the last chapter, he says, not only surrender, you got to do your duties also. Bhagavad Gita never says that don't do the duties. Do the duties, but surrender your results to me. I'll take care of it. Sarv dharman paritajye mam ekam sharanam vraj. Aham tva sarv papebhya mokshishyami ma shucha. Ma shucha means no grief, no fear. He's telling us. So that really means no feeling of hopelessness. That's another way you can look at this shucha word. Abandoning all dharmas. That means identifications with the lower personalities of yours. It could be the body, mind, intellect. Take refuge in me alone. I will liberate you from all sins. Grieve not. And the very last verse where he is emphasizing that we have to do our duties also. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijay Iti, Vijay Bhuti, Dhruva Niti, Mati Mama. Wherever is Krishna, that means the Lord. Whichever name we want to use. So that's what Christian means. Who used this word Christian? Sanjay did. Because this is spoken by Sanjay, the charioteer of that blind king Dhritarashtra. So that's why he says, wherever is Christian, you can say, wherever is our Ishta, the Lord of Yoga, wherever is Parth, the archer, that means a person who is doing the action. And in our case, it's us. So remember God, keep the presence of God in your mind, and definitely do your duty. Archer means he was supposed to wage this war. So we wage our wars also with the duties which we do. So if we do this, do whatever we need to do. Constantly remembering that God is with us, what will happen? Prosperity, victory, happiness, and firm policy. He says, this is my conviction. If you can just remember this verse alone, remembering God, it could be the name of God, it could be the form of God, it could be the feeling of God, but God is with me always. But then I have to do my duty also. Nobody can say I don't have any duty. We all have many duties. Taking care of this body is also a duty. We live in this temple. We got to keep it clean. We got to feed it. We have to exercise it. That's our duty. When we go on the road, in the car, driving the car properly, following the rules, that's our duty. The country we live in, paying our taxes, that's our duty. The people we are talking to, people we are dealing with, showing our respect to them, that's our duty. Throughout the day, we go through from duty to duty to duty. Do all those duties, but never forget that God is with you. In fact, if we can remember that God is with us, we'll do our duties honestly, properly, diligently. We won't feel hopeless. Because prosperity will be there. This is the promise given over here by Bhagavad Gita. Prosperity will be there. This prosperity could be financial prosperity if we need that. Or it could be a peacefulness of our mind, calmness of our mind, a good health. That's all prosperity. Victory. We need the victory over our lower instincts. That's what this Vijay means. We need to have a victory over anger, over lust, over greed, over egoism. So if we remember God is with us, where can there be an ego? The Lord himself is with us. What is the place of ego in us then? Or the greed? Now he says from here you will feel happy also. Happiness or the bliss, that is our inherent nature. That's what we are. We'll feel happy. Then there's no hopelessness. He says, this is my conviction. So I'll stop it here because we have talked about these verses each time we have gone through Bhagavad Gita in detail. But over here, I just wanted to point it out to you that what do we learn about hopelessness from these verses? Now, Urmil will go into it into more detail and more how we can apply it in our day-to-day life also. Thank you, Urmil. Unmute yourself, please.
Thank you, Hershey. Thank you, Karuna, and hello, good morning, all of you. Who is Arjun here and who is Lord Krishna? Arjun is representing himself here as the confused, limited, ordinary mortal with all his many weaknesses, agitations, and fears. And this is made obvious when Arjun drops down his bow and arrow, the instrument of his effort. He has lost hope for any success in the war. And only later on we see that after Lord Krishna talks to him and motivates him, he shows his readiness and he shows his hope and faith and willingness with the knowledge he gets from Lord Krishna. So knowledge and confidence are inculcated in that person in order to come out of hopelessness. So what exactly is hope? To achieve one's goals, dreams, some people don't give up. They have faith in themselves and faith in God, and they hope that in the end all will work out. And there are others who give up. They get frustrated and lose hope and throw it away. You must have noticed many kids, they try to build the blocks and then the blocks fall down, and then he puts a small block and a big block on top of it, and that falls down. But some kids don't give up. Others will cry and have a tantrum, and some other child will go on struggling till he has been able to figure out the big block and then the small blocks. So those who pursue their goal work very hard. They are determined in their resolve. And when challenges come, they do not give up hope and believe that the best is yet to come. But those who are feeling hopeless, as a feeling of despair or lack of hope that life can feel better than it does, such feeling pulls you back from your life and avoid doing things you usually enjoy doing, withdrawing from family and friends you love. And if hopelessness becomes severe, it can lead to suicidal thoughts. And so hopelessness can be overcome by putting hope in it. Put back the hope in it. And how to put the hope back in it? And there are many ways which Hershey has already mentioned. So first say, how come this person was so enthusiastic and productive and suddenly he has lost hope? There are many factors, and you have to be kind to the person who has lost his hopes. There are traumatic events in life, deaths of a loved one by accident or disease. And sometimes the person is prone to anxiety and worry about the future, not stay in the present. And some people let negative thoughts overpower them. If they are not doing well in their project, the negative thoughts come up. And imbalance, sometimes they have imbalance in the chemicals of the body or hormone imbalance, and they get restless and frustrated and lose hope. So they trying to achieve something with knowing how to, they feel they didn't have enough knowledge and they give up. In some people, the hopelessness comes from financial tightness, financial crisis due to loss of job, unforeseen medical bills, or physical disability. Unable to complete a project, few people, like even a simple example of a woman goes to have some miscarriages and she feels hopeless and doesn't want to try again to have another child. There can be many such reasons that make you feel hopeless, as if your world is coming to an end. And you disconnect yourself from your family and friends, and you feel dejected. And you feel empty, and you look at the world with a blank expression. Now, how to overcome feelings of hopelessness? We have to reframe our thoughts about hopelessness. One way is look at the half full, not half empty glass. Even if there is a ray of hope, hang on to it. This is called hope against hope. Don't let feelings of hopelessness make you neglect your physical health, because the minute you ignore your physical health, because it's a vicious cycle. Neglect of physical health will give negative self-image, embarrassment, more mental health issues will erupt, not to mention some people taking the support of alcohol, drugs, overeating. So in other words, be gentle to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. If you love yourself and if you talk positive, the hopelessness will start to fade. Find something that will give you the will to live. Sometimes you don't want to live because you have a problem, a medical problem, or an emotional problem of the kind that you rather die than live. One of the things you could do is, okay, get up and do an errand for some old person, or go and help someone who is feeling lonely and go sit and talk to them. Seva of some form will give you a jump start. And then you start focusing on the positives in your life, your strengths and your faith in the higher power. So now we come to the higher power. As said in the Gita, Lord Krishna says, surrender to me, I will take care of you. You just do your best. Let God take care of the rest. Something we learned even when we were children, a parent would say, just do your best, study hard, go to school, do your exam, and leave it to God for the results. So he has to develop that attitude of hope. So gratitude prayer, gratitude expressed to God, as it is said, count your blessings, or things could be worse. So take a deep breath, put hope back into your self-talk. Live in the present, focus only on your current situation. Mindfulness will reduce anxieties and improve your mood. And also surround yourself with supportive people. It may increase your sense of hope. Listen to spiritual talks. Read spiritual books, your religious books. Listen to your guru in the place of worship. Last, though, but not the least, seek professional help before it is too late and before you commit suicide or harm yourself to the point of no return. Don't let the flame of your candle blow out, and have the courage to protect its glow. जैसे कि छोटा सा दिया है और तूफान आ रहा है, तुमको दिए को तूफान से बचाना है. So ये it is a battle of the little diya and the big storm in your life. You have to protect the glow. Live in hope that sun will rise again and remove darkness surrounding you. So, not that I want to go into this part, but I'm going to just mention benefits of professional help and therapy. If it comes to the point when you have suicidal thoughts and all, seek professional help. For example, the advantages are it has confidentiality, it is safe and supportive environment, explore new coping techniques, two-way conversation may help you get to the bottom of the problem or feeling of hopelessness. Remember, hopelessness can be conquered through many ways. Above all, it's the path of spiritualism and connecting with God, uniting with Him, trusting Him, and loving Him with devotion. And finally, surrendering to Him. Tumi Mata, Tumi Pita Ho. You people have heard this bhajan many times. And let these 4 verses that we discussed today ignite the fire in your heart, blow the air in the embers of the ashes of hope. Courage, determination, and mindset to preserve, put the past behind and embrace the present with hopes of good future. And I found a poem, it is only 3 verses, and it is overcoming hard times, and it's inspirational poem. And it is considered one of the best poems on overcoming hard times. And the name of the poem is Invictus. Invictus means I will never be defeated. And it's by William Henley, European poet. And he has his leg amputated. And when he was in the hospital, he was suffering from a lot of pain and hardship. So he wrote these few verses. Let me read them. Some of the words are hard, so I will also explain it. Out of the night that covers me, night that covers me means suffering or the darkness of in my life that has come. Black as the pit from pole to pole means from all around me, around this world, all I see is black as the pit, in the sense I cannot see my future. I cannot see what's happening because I'm in so much pain. I think whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul, but I am not going to give up, he says. In the fell clutch of circumstance, fell clutch means as I have been knocked down by circumstances that are now shaping my life with so much pain, I had not shouted or cried aloud. Under the bulging of chance, under the bludging of chance means under the accidental circumstances, my head is bloody, but I am unbowed. I will not surrender to this pain. Beyond the place of anger, frustration, and tears looms but the destiny of horror of the shade. Horror of the shade means the horror of death, of going to hell or something. And yet the troubles of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. He faced problems bravely. It matters not how. Straight the gate. Straight the gate is a phrase from Bible which says the gate to heaven is very narrow and small. How charged with punishment the scroll. I mean, I am being punished, and how many charges are in the list of my karmas for which I am punished as a sinner. I am the master of my fate. I am the determiner of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I will prepare myself to face realities. I am in the driver's seat of my life. I am proud of my strength. I will triumph over adversity. See how strong that is. It is to come from within, that desire to fight it out. And if we keep talking about this, fighting the adversity, somewhere he must have heard the depressed, dejected person must have heard these words somewhere, or he must be hearing them somewhere, that one day he'll remember that and be able to ignite the fire within. So that is how inspired one needs to get, along with faith in God. And that's my take on today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Urmil. Thank you, Karuna.